Robot vacuums promise to give you back your time, but with so many models at so many price points, how do you know which ones actually deliver on that promise and which ones just look good in a spec sheet? Today, we find out. The honest answer is that most robot vacuums are judged on demos, not daily life. A clean floor after a single run looks great on camera. What you do not see is the missed corners 3 weeks in, the app that stops connecting, or the dustbin that fills up faster than advertised. So for this list, the filter is simple. Consistent real-world performance, software that actually works, and value that holds up after the first month. We rank these from solid entry-level picks up to the models that genuinely justify a higher price. Each one has a clear identity and a clear trade-off. By the end, you will know exactly which one fits your home. So let's start at the bottom of the budget. And that is not an insult. At around $170, the Eufy 11S Max is the baseline here, and it earns that position for a specific kind of buyer. It is a slim, no-frills robot vacuum, 2.85 inches thin, which means it can slide under furniture that stops thicker models cold. It runs up to 100 minutes on hard floors. It is quiet enough to run while you are in the room, and the Boost IQ system automatically adjusts suction when it transitions onto carpet. For casual cleaning in a smaller space, that is a genuinely capable package. Now, the trade-offs. This model has no Wi-Fi, no app, no smart mapping. You are working with a remote and physical buttons only. For some buyers, that simplicity is fine. For others, it will feel dated immediately. Many owners also report that hair wraps aggressively around the brush roll and is difficult to clean out. That is a real maintenance consideration. And it is worth noting that parent company Eufy, under Anchor, has faced scrutiny over privacy practices tied to their security camera products. The vacuum itself carries a solid owner satisfaction rating with over 16,000 reviews, sitting at 4.1 out of 5, which suggests most buyers are happy. But informed is better than surprised. This is the right pick if your priority is low price and low complexity. If you want scheduling, app control, or smarter navigation, the next model is where that conversation begins. The TCOM L8000 Plus sits at around $220, and for that price, you are getting LiDAR navigation, 6,000 pascal suction, a self-emptying base with a 3-liter dust bag, and app control with Alexa support. On paper, that is a genuinely capable feature set for the money. And honestly, for vacuuming, especially on pet hair and hard floors, most owners report solid, reliable results. The 90-day hands-free emptying cycle is a real convenience win. Now, the trade-offs. TCOM is not a brand most buyers have strong familiarity with, and that matters when something goes wrong. Warranty support and long-term reliability are harder to verify with newer names. More importantly, the mopping performance here scores significantly below the category average, 10.2 points against a category mean of 22.75, based on over 6,000 reviews analyzed. That gap is not subtle. So if wet cleaning is part of why you are buying this, this is where you pause. Buy this if vacuuming convenience is the priority and budget is the ceiling. If mopping actually matters to you, the next option is a more honest conversation. The Begot combo sits at $239.99, and that puts it in an interesting middle zone. Not the cheapest option on this list, but nowhere near Flagship territory either. What you are getting is LiDAR navigation, 6,000 pascal suction, a self-emptying station rated for 90 days of hands-free cleaning, and a combined vacuum mop function in one unit. On paper, that is a strong feature set for the price. The 90-day capacity in particular is genuinely practical. Most buyers at this price point are still emptying manually every few days, so that alone is a real quality of life upgrade. Now, the important caveat. Begot is not a household name in the way some competitors are, and independent third-party testing on this specific model is limited. The 4.7 rating across 93 reviews suggests most buyers are satisfied, but that is a relatively small sample. Some buyers, particularly those new to robot vacuums or dealing with pet hair, may find this a solid entry point into a more capable tier. For experienced buyers expecting flagship reliability, the limited review base is worth noting before committing. This is a reasonable bet at this price, but it is still a bet. If you want more established backing behind your purchase, the next model takes a different approach entirely. The RoboRock Q7M5 Plus sits at $299.99, and on paper, this is where the list gets serious. RoboRock is an established name, the specs are strong, and with over 18,000 reviews and a 4-star rating, the volume of real-world feedback alone tells you people are buying this in significant numbers. The headline numbers are genuine: 10,000 pascals of suction, PreciSense LiDAR navigation for room mapping, and a self-empty dock that can go 7 to 9 weeks between emptying. That last point matters more than it sounds. Most buyers pick up a robot vacuum specifically to stop thinking about cleaning. 7 to 9 weeks of hands-free operation is a meaningful commitment to that promise. The dual anti-tangle brush design also addresses one of the most common frustrations with robot vacuums in pet households. Now, the important caveat. The technology here is solid. The after-sales experience is where you need to pause. Multiple sources report that RoboRock's customer service can be difficult to reach, slow to respond, and unhelpful when real problems arise. The company has 84 BBB reviews on file, and warranty claims, battery issues, navigation problems, and dock faults are among the recurring complaints. That does not mean every unit will have problems, but it does mean if something goes wrong, your experience resolves itself very differently than with a brand with stronger support infrastructure. Buy this if the specs match your needs and you are comfortable with that trade-off. If long-term support matters as much as day-one performance, factor that in carefully before committing. Now we get to the flagship. The Dream X 60 Max Ultra comes in at $1,699.99, and on paper, the spec sheet is genuinely hard to dismiss. At just 3.13 inches thin, it is Dream's slimmest robot vacuum yet. 35,000 pascal suction, dual AI cameras with obstacle detection, mop extend reach into corners, hot water mopping at 40 degrees Celsius. Vacuum Wars scored it a 4.11 out of 5, which is a strong professional benchmark. So far, this sounds like a serious machine, but here is where you pause. Dreamy carries a 1.6 to 1.7 out of 5 on Trustpilot, rated bad, and this is not isolated to one product. Owners report failures across multiple lines. The X40, failing within a few uses. The X50 Ultra, side brush gone within 6 months. Consistent 3-month failure timelines showing up across reviews. At $1,699.99, that is not a risk you absorb quietly. The specs are real. The performance potential is real. But Dreamy's service track record is a problem that no spec sheet fixes. Buy this only if you fully accept that support may not be there when you need it. So here is where the list actually splits. At the lower end, you are buying coverage and convenience, basic cleaning that handles daily life without much friction. Move up a tier and you start getting meaningful sensor accuracy, smarter navigation, and real mopping capability. That is the value inflection point most buyers should be watching. At the top, you are paying for polish, ecosystem, and reliability, not just specs. And that last part matters more than it sounds. A robot vacuum that cleans well but leaves you without support when something breaks is a different product than one that simply works quietly for years. For most buyers, the mid-range options here offer the strongest actual value. The premium pick earns its price only if long-term reliability is genuinely your priority. And Dreamy? Strong on paper, riskier in practice. So here is where I land. If budget is your ceiling, the entry-level pick does the job without pretending to be more. If you want the strongest balance of features and real-world reliability, the mid-range options are where most buyers should stop. If long-term durability genuinely matters to you more than upfront cost, the premium pick justifies itself quietly over time. And if you are comfortable with some uncertainty in exchange for impressive specs, Dreamy is worth the gamble. For most people watching this, the mid-range is the safest decision you will not regret. Links to everything we covered are in the description below. If you want to see how these stack up in a different price range, one of these videos is probably your next stop. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.